Hi everybody, how you doing? Thanks for tuning into another video. Today something slightly different. So I just purchased Death Stranding for the PC and I've just started up the game and I thought I'd share the experience with you all of playing this game on a 49-inch ultra-wide gaming monitor. So the first thing I notice is that there isn't an option within the graphic settings to actually run the game at full ultra widescreen resolution. The aspect ratio is locked to either 16 by 9 or 21 by 9, and the highest resolution I can run this at on my setup is 3360 by 1440, unfortunately, though the monitor is capable of running at 5120 by 1440. This particular game does not seem to support that resolution. So I've got all the settings set on maximum. The model detail is set to very high. Memory for, well, it's not going to be streaming anything, so that's not a problem. But all the other settings for graphics are completely set to high or turned on to make sure that I'm going to get maximum visual pleasure from the game. So that all looks good. I'm going to go ahead and get back to the game. Because I already had the graphics set to high anyway, and just have a little walk around and let you see firsthand while I'm playing this exactly what the experience is like. Now, just to let you know what this is running on, this is actually running on a Ryzen 3950, well, it's a PC with a Ryzen 3950X processor. It's got an old graphics card at the moment because I'm still waiting on an upgrade for one of the new graphics cards. So currently this is running on a Zotac 1080. It's not a TI model, surprisingly. This is just running a standard 1080 AMP edition graphics card, and even though it's only got 8 gig of RAM, as you can see, the game seems to be running absolutely fine. The frame rate on the monitor, I've got a display sitting just under the screen, and if you can see it clearly or not, I'm not sure, but I can read it out to you. It's currently running at about between 90 and 100 frames a second, and that is quite impressive considering that this is a new game from this year, July 2020, and we're talking about a graphics card which is a good few years old now. So just to complete the summary of specs for the PC, what this is running on, again, as I said, is a PC which is equipped with an AMD Ryzen 3950X processor, 64 gig of memory, and the Zotac 1080, and it's not a TI. But other than the fact that the game doesn't allow me to run in a full resolution, I think that's a limitation of the game rather than the hardware it's running on. It definitely seems to be running extremely well. The frame rate is great. It seems like the cutscenes are locked to 60 frames per second. But when I'm gaming and I was walking around, as you could see, I was averaging between sort of 85 to 90 all the way up to 100 frames per second, which again, for an old graphics card, I think it's phenomenal. Now, first thing I will say is this game looks absolutely stunning. It's probably hard to see on the camera just how great it is, but it really is really nice game to look at. If I try and zoom in there, you can actually see the detail in the game. It's extremely well detailed. The colors are fantastic. You wouldn't expect any less of something like something coming out of Kojima Productions. They did a fantastic job with Metal Gear Solid, and it's a shame Kojima left that series. But on to bigger and better things, I guess. So I'm going to skip some cutscenes here just so I can walk around a little bit more. I'll leave this zoomed in a little bit, just so you can see the detail in the game. If I lower the camera a bit, you'll be able to see the frames per second as well whilst I'm walking around. So you can see the display at the bottom. If you're interested in knowing what I'm running, what software I'm running on the Android tablet to capture the frames per second, please let me know. I can provide information on that. It's a great little utility that you can run on your Android tablet, or if you've got an old spare phone lying around, to use as a display for your PC, just so you can get some more information from it. It's a great way of using another old spare device if you've got something lying around. So even though I'm walking around in this environment where you can see the draw depth is fantastic, the detail is extremely high on all these scenes, we're not seeing any slowdown on such an old graphics card. Makes me wonder sometimes whether there's any requirement to upgrade to the new NVidia RTX 3090 or AMD Ryzen 6900 XT. At the moment, I'm considering one of the two, but since the GPU wars are still going on, it's too early to decide on which one. And to be honest, even if I did want one, let's face it, there's no stock available because the scalpers have done a wonderful job of getting all the stock of the NVIDIA cards, and the AMDs just aren't available yet. I think currently I'm leaning towards an AMD. Pound for pound, it definitely is. You're getting a lot more bang for your buck. As I do make a decision and purchase the card, I will be sure to share it all with you. I will be putting a video up when I'm upgrading the PC. Look at the waterfall there. Look at that. That's fantastic. Look at the detail. Look at the actual. Look at the textures in the floor and on the rocks and on the walls, on the character itself. We're not seeing frame rates drop below 80 frames per second as far as I can see. I might have missed it because I'm concentrating on, or half concentrating on walking around. I'm not doing a great job of that, I must admit, but I'm not trying to go to any checkpoint in the game. I'm just trying to walk around to areas of high detail, and oh, there we go, I'm floating away somewhere. I'm still able to control my character a little bit, which is interesting. So there you have it. Death Stranding running on a 1080 at full resolution of what the game is capable of rather than the actual hardware here. Running extremely well. If you're wondering how all this will run on your 1080, hopefully this helps you to see what you can potentially achieve. Obviously there is some reliance on underlying CPU and memory also being up to the job, but overall the graphics card itself is doing a fantastic job here. Just to quickly cover the other monitors underneath, so we've got the CPU running at about 30%, 28-30% there. You can see that's the first gauge on the left. The second gauge, we've got CPU memory and CPU speed. I'm in megahertz, so I'm using about 6.3 gig of RAM here on the graphics card, and I can assure you that most of that is not this game. It's actually other stuff that's running in the background. I've got virtual machines running actively on this PC at exactly the same time. 2 virtual machines to be precise. And one of them has been allocated a lot of memory as well and is actively running as we speak, working away in the background. The GPU core is running at 2000 megahertz as we can see, and the GPU temperature is sitting at only 76 degrees, which is actually nice. It's nice to see under 80 degrees. Graphics cards like to get a bit toasty when you're running games of this quality, but sitting at 76 degrees is fantastic. The case that I'm running all of the hardware in is an N-Case M1, in case you're interested. I leave all the panels open, not for ventilation purposes, because it's a great case for ventilation anyway when it's closed, but just because it looks really nice. You might have seen it in some previous videos I've recorded, but I am going to be doing a full review on the PC once I actually get the new graphics card. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, please let me know. If there's any particular games you'd want to see me running on this ultra wide monitor, it is an absolute gem of a gaming monitor. Please let me know what you'd like to see and I'd be happy to record some more videos. I will be most certainly recording some more gaming videos in the near future, showing myself running some other top quality AAA titles on this gaming setup. Hope you've enjoyed that, and please feel free to leave comments in the section below. If you like the video, please leave me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed but you'd like to be notified of any new content that I'll be posting, such as more games on this gorgeous 49-inch monitor, please certainly do subscribe so you can be notified of any new videos. Thanks for watching once again. Take care. All the best. Bye bye.